Today we're talking pros and cons, no BS pros and cons to why you may or may not want to move to Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Welcome back, guys. As you know, I am Dawn Heron-Mazer, realtor with CIR Realty here in Calgary, Alberta, and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living here. First, let's talk affordability. Calgary is a very affordable city. For a detached home in Calgary, the benchmark price is $633,000. That's up 14% over last year. However, it is still extremely affordable compared to major centers like Toronto or Vancouver. Yes, while Calgary is affordable compared to Toronto and Vancouver, if we really want to compare it to other major cities, let's talk about Edmonton, where your money is for sure going to go a little bit farther than it is here. There is also only federal tax in Alberta, so we pay GST of 5%, and there's no provincial tax. There is also no land transfer tax when purchasing a home, which could save you tens of thousands of dollars. Next up is attractions. Calgary is in such close proximity, about an hour to an hour and a half to the mountains, where you can enjoy skiing, gondola rides, sightseeing, hiking, all the kinds of mountain outdoor activities. Calgary really is an outdoor enthusiast's playground. Okay, so the next one is definitely a pro or a con, depending on how you see it. The Calgary Stampede comes to Calgary every year. It's a 10-day event. There is the rodeo portion, the rides. There's honestly just so much to do. There's lots of really cool food to check out. And it brings a ton of people to the city, which is really great for tourism, food and beverage, small businesses in the area. It's really great for the city. However, if you've lived here, maybe your whole life or just for quite some time, it can be a lot to have all these extra people in the city. And there's a lot of people that plan to head out of town during that time. I mean, that's really a personal choice. A lot of people love it. A lot of people, not so much. Let's talk about the best part, winter. I hope you could tell I was being facetious. Winter is not for everybody. It gets freaking cold here, you guys. Sometimes like minus 30 with the winter. Otherwise, average I would say minus 10 to minus 20 in the winter. One great thing is that we do have Chinooks, and so that's when kind of warm air comes over the mountains and it heats things up. You can essentially have snow in the morning and cleared grass, brown grass, 10 degrees in the afternoon. That's really great if you don't succumb to migraines with pressure changes like that. I personally don't, so I love Chinooks. There's a lot of people that it actually negatively impacts. That being said, I love winter. I like skiing, I like the winter sports involved, I like skating. If you bundle up, you will adjust. It may take some time because it's freaking cold, but hey, some people are meant for winters and some people aren't. And if you aren't meant for winter, probably don't move here. Summers though, summers are super nice. Summers can get super hot. And even just this last year, it was pretty hot. I mean, we had like 30 plus degrees, which here it's great. It's a dry heat, so same in the winter, it's very dry. If that's not something you're used to, you definitely need to do the old like Vaseline up your nose and stuff. Because it's dry, in northern Alberta and BC, even the northern states, there can be a lot of forest fires. Now, unfortunately, Calgary is negatively affected by that in that we get some smoky days. I will say this last summer has probably been one of the best summers in quite some time, at least that I can recall. My memory's not that great either. But we only had smoke heading into September, which is wild because we often get some pretty smoky days. So if you're somebody that is heavily impacted by smoke, so if you have any sort of like breathing concerns, that kind of stuff, maybe, you really need to keep that in mind if this is the place for you to live. Let's talk transportation. Okay, so there is definitely some pros and cons in this category because the city is big. We have what's called an urban sprawl, so it's very spread out. Transit, not the most ideal for that. We have the C train, which is like our light rail. Now, those tracks are somewhat limited. Sure, it's expanding, not fast enough, that's for sure, for the amount of people that live here, and it's not extensive enough. It doesn't kind of jet out into all of the areas of the city. We do have like rapid transit bus systems, so that's good. But at the end of the day, the transit system just isn't great. If you live in Calgary, you will likely need to buy a car. Also, if you work downtown and you don't live downtown, you will need to take transit because it's pretty expensive to park your car downtown during the day. With that being said, downtown, we have what's called the Plus 15, which is pathways, essentially bridges building to building that allow you to maneuver through downtown without having to go outside in the winter. Of course, it's worth mentioning that Calgary was rated one of the top 3 best places to live in the world, rated by the EIU in 2022. Thank you guys so much for sticking around if you have this long. I appreciate you watching. I am always here if you have any questions. Give me your feedback. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, write it down in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you love Calgary, if you hate Calgary, let me know. Talk to you later.
Running, I can't take no